Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, get into the TA. Guys, we have a crap ton to cover today. That is why we did not have the Friday video. Got to be last night, and I was like, should probably just make a longer weekly update because we have a lot of freaking stuff to cover here, right? So we're going to be covering the indices. We're going to start off with that. We're going to go over the daily and the weekly time frames and SPY and QQQ. We'll throw IWM in there, and then we have a crap ton of individual tickers that we are going to be taking a look at today. And I do think there is some juice on all of these setups. So stay tuned. That'll be the second half of this video, which will probably be 2/3 of this video. So let's quickly go over these indices real quick, because I'm just gonna start running through these things, and then we're gonna get into those setups, because I really do think that is where the juice of this video is going to lie. Guys, we're just gonna run it back. All right, we're gonna go back in time here and think of what we were talking about down here. I just want to address this. People think I'm switching up. I am a guy who is looking at the charts. If the charts are telling me one thing, I don't know why, I'm going to sit there and say another thing. It's just illogical. I'm going to listen to the charts every single time. We're up here. I was saying, I believe it was literally right here. I think we're either at a top, a major top, or we are going to go push all-time highs a little more before that drop, and then we're going to see the drop. All right. I did think we were coming down to 460, but at the same time, I need everyone to understand this. Guys, we will be talking about things and playing things level by level. If things are happening on the charts and you want to hold your bias and it's going against what's happening on the charts, feel free. You can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do a disservice to the people of this channel, the community that we built up. I'm not going to sit there and stay bearish. Okay, when we just saw this decline right down to a golden pocket, right down to a break-in retest level, right down to the bottom of this bullish falling wedge that I said we very clearly have to keep in the back of our mind. And then when we were recording this video, I said underneath here, underneath 470.40, if you cannot hold here, we are going down to 467, level by level, baby. Guess what was right there? You had the 0.786 fib, or you had the 0.618 fib. No, you did add the 0.786. So guess what? You are holding the bottom of the golden pocket. These are the things that we watch for on this channel. And when you have a hammer candlestick forming at the 0.786 fib, at the bottom of the falling wedge, at the breakout zone, so this should be treated as demand. When you see proof that buyers are stepping in, for what reason are you going to stay bearish and say we're coming all the way down here? No. All right? No. We said this market is looking more bullish than not. My guess was we were going to shoot up. If you break this zone right here, we're probably going to have a straight shot to all-time highs. What happened? We had the straight shot to all-time highs. All right? I understand we've been in a choppy market. I've been very clear about this. All right? People want to say like, oh, so be cautious on both sides. Yes, be cautious on both sides. But if you want to play the short-term price action, that is what I offer here on the channel. I will walk you through it every single day. That is the point of the daily updates. All right? When we're up here, we were looking for a sell. We got a sell. I don't know what you want me to tell you. If something's holding down here, I am not going to stay just a bear. I'm not going to be a perma bear and have everybody on my channel just start losing money. It's not going to be the case. So if that is you and you are annoyed at it, just take a step back and realize you're the one with the bias. Your boy does not have the bias. Your boy is just reading the charts. Let's get into the freaking charts. All right. Now that we've reviewed what we went over there, okay, which keep in mind, I'll also acknowledge VIX did end up having a filthy gap up over here. And I was going to be the guy to remind you, when you saw this thing get up to 65, we're just going to put it right here. This is when you should start expecting VIX to top within days. Now, I do think, all right, this was 2 months of consolidation. I don't think that's it, all right? The move up that I'm looking for in VIX, it has not started yet. All right, but this is a change in dynamic. All right, something behind the scenes have changed. Why did we get this massive spike over here on VIX? Something has changed. All right, so I'm just going to tell you right now, long with caution, but no, there's no chance that this is a bearish market. You are, seeing exactly what we've talked about. All right, chips push all-time highs. All right, then we have QQQ pushing all-time highs because chips are going to be leading the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is going to be leading the S&P 500. The S&P 500 then pushed all-time highs. It was one by one. If you want to just completely, just blind yourself and plug your ears when we talk about things on this channel, and then only listen when there's things that are confirming your bias, guess what? You're going to have a very unhappy time because we are not biased here on this channel. All right, we play things level by level, and when I see things, I will say things. All right, you had, guess what, an inverse head and shoulders here. So not only we're saying this is exactly where buyers need to hold, unless you're going to 467. If you couldn't hold under here, guess what? You're going down there. So not only were you holding exactly where you need to hold, you broke out of the bullish structure that we were pointing out that we said we need to keep in the back of your mind. Guess what? You got to right here. All right, I posted a video saying that we were going to, any pullback is just going to create a right shoulder. What happened? All right, within like an hour, I got a few hate comments that got deleted. All right, there were a few people like, oh, no, look at that. You're wrong again. Guys, you want to hate on me all you want, but in reality, I am a guy reading the chart, and I think I'm damn accurate on reading these charts. And if you want to disagree, go disagree in the comments. I'll firmly remind you of what we've been talking about. And this is what we're doing right here. Guess what? Made the video right here. It did pull back into the right shoulder. We did have bullish structure going on here. And then you broke out from that bullish structure and you created more bullish structure. All right. So what do you then have? You had a neckline going on. You broke that neckline. You back tested the neckline, and then you were off to the races. And guess what? That neckline happened to have, agreed. It was right there, confluence right here with the zone. We were saying if you take it out, you're probably just going to push back up. All right, because let's look at it this way. All right, we're just going to put it right there. Well, what is right by this zone? The golden pocket, guys. You get above the 0.786, it's not going to be just a retracement. That's exactly what I was saying. To the downside here, this is exactly where bulls needed to hold. They were holding with bullish structure, with the hammer candlestick, at the breakout zone, at the 0.786 fib, with the RSI being all the way down here. It just made sense that we're probably not going to just continue selling. We could have, but this is what made sense. That's what we're going to talk about. Now, guys, where are we? We're at all-time highs. You see these two red lines here? Those are going to be my targets. All right, we're talking 488. We're talking 492. Put them on your radar. I'm not saying they're going to be happening this week, but we're going to go over some charts in this video that are nothing less than bullish. You want to pretend like this is not a bull market. That is on you. All right. This bull market, we knew it was a bull market once we started seeing all these stocks and indices over here push all-time highs. All right. You already had NASDAQ pushing the all-time high over here. So guess what? We knew this dip was probably just going to be eaten up. All right, we're bullish on the dip. We have not changed our tune. Did I think we were coming to 460 before continuing the move? Yeah, I did. All right, but I'm not going to sit there like a freaking, dead duck in the water. We're not going to do it. All right, so if that's you, all right, just know I got your back. I won't sit there. All right, you can hold the bias, but I won't. I'll remind you that, hey, you got to just go with the flow, go with what the charts are giving you. Price action is bullish. Price action is bullish. You can't sit there being bearish. All right. We're bullish at the exact bottom down here. If you want to act like we haven't been spot on with these indices, go ahead. Go ahead. All right. I understand we do daily updates and sometimes not a lot has changed. But guess what? There's nothing that you could say to tell us that we didn't call this move and we didn't call this move and then we didn't call this move. There's nothing you could say about it. The proof is in my videos. Go back and watch them if you care that much. Guess what? Now I'll just tell you this. So this is what I was open up with the Discord. My guess, we were all the way down here at 477, I believe, on open. Yeah, right around here. All right, you're gapping up above the 0.786 fib. My guess was you were going to be pushing all-time highs that day. You did end up pushing all-time highs, and what are we watching, guys? Well, this is what I'm watching, all right? So you had the breakout. The last breakout above resistance, key resistance you had, was over here at 462. All right, this was, right here. This was over by your July top. This was your supply zone we were watching. Guess what? You got above it and you had a $10 move. All right, once you got this hourly RSI and overbought territory and you got above your resistance, you squoze for $10. So my guess is that this is completely on the table, and that's why we do have those targets on the table. All right, which I don't know where my targets went. Oh, I deleted the fibs. That's okay. All right, but we're talking 488 and 492. Those are going to be the Fibonacci extensions that we are paying attention to because now we are in price discovery mode. And I do think a lot of shorts are about to get squeezed considering we have increasing volume on all, these last 2 days on these big bull days. All right, you come over here to QQQ, you get the same look, guys. All right, you got massive increasing volume going on the last 4 trading sessions. And yeah, this thing is not, it doesn't look like it's slowing down right here. QQQ is already pushing these targets. This is also just one of these targets that I put out for the Discord in the morning brief. And guess what? All right, that ended up working. All right, that's why we're going to follow the same thing over there on SPY. Guys, when we see things, we'll say things. That is that. All right, but as far as SPY goes, I'm just saying, guys, I don't think there's any reason to be bearish. We are going to clean up this clutter now that we just went over what the purpose of the clutter was. All right, we're playing it level by level. All right, you did end up breaking out of that, so we don't need that anymore. We don't need this until we start seeing price revisit that. But guess what? By the time you just come down, who says buyers aren't going to, just show up at the high again? I'm not saying that. They very well could. All right, guys, we had a fake out. Okay, you've been riding this thing the whole entire time. Now we're above it. All right. I don't think anybody has a reason to even think bearishly until you start losing this. This is gonna mark your short-term trend. And on all of these impulsive moves, you had no reason to get bearish above it. All right. I understand you had a little fake out here. Guess what? All right. It was nothing less than that. It was a fake out. You come over here to QQ, you got the same exact thing, and the next day you recovered it. So I'm just saying, guys, things ain't looking too shabby. They're really not. You come over here to the weekly time frame, and guys, this looks nothing less than bullish. I don't know what you want me to say about it. You got the increasing volume going on. I understand the RSI is still all the way up there, but as we could see, right, during your bull markets, this is where it likes to hang out. So we're not even really going to be paying attention to. You can see people, calling for a bearish divergence. Guess what? It doesn't matter. If we're in a bull market, which I know for a fact we're in a bull market, if everything is pushing all-time highs, it's going to hang out up here. I'm not saying it has to pull back massively. All right. But as of right now, guys, you're still bullish. You don't have a reason to be, perma bearish. Well, not perma bearish. You just don't have a reason to be bearish right now. You really don't. SPY, fresh, push off of all-time highs. You get the weekly close above it. My guess is you keep going. QQQ, what's going on? Well, guys, this thing also looks nothing less than bullish. You can just put a little horizontal ray right there. Guess what? You're just fresh new all-time highs off of increasing volume. You're probably going to keep going. So over here, you had increasing volume. You had an up week right here off of decreasing volume. You had another up week off of very low volume. That is your warning sign. We have the exact opposite of that. So we're probably getting this, or you're just accelerating right now. All right, so that's going on right now. We will cover IWM. All right, so IWM is holding exactly where it needs to hold. You come down to the daily time frame. All right, this was the last breakout level. You've had the perfect break and retest going off of here to the downside. You lost the zone right here. Guess what? Retest number one, retest number two, broke down. Guess what? You did see that move end up playing out. I don't really watch things like that, but guess what? You pretty much saw the whole entire move play out right there. You got heavy volume. All right, now it was OPEX. Okay, we did have the monthly OPEX having, that it was done on Friday. All right, but I just want to show you, guys, when you get these volume spikes, you typically see the move start, continue going. Every single fresh leg up was marked by these volume spikes, and you just saw the dips get eaten after that. I think we're probably going to climb back up over here on IWM. Something you could be paying attention to is right here, this downtrend. If you break the downtrend, all right, what happened to the last downtrend? Now, I'm not saying it's like that because, this is something that took a while to establish and this didn't. But I'm just putting it out there, guys. If you break the downtrend, you probably get buyers and we're probably going to push back up here. That's something that I'm, just going to be paying attention to. You got this little parallel channel. You got volume suggesting this move is going to continue up. If it does continue up, you're going to break out. And then we got a bullish recipe. Come over here to DIA. Messy chart, but new all-time highs. Who this? Guys, it's just literally been flagging up here. You have this little rectangle going on. And I'm not saying that it's going to, I'm not saying it's going to be treated as a flag, but guys, flag or not, all right, pen or not, you have a big move up. You have your consolidation. It looks like it wants to make the next move up, all right? And I do think this bearish divergence is probably going to be burned, but we will stay cautious, all right? We will stay cautious. We will keep this on our, radar down here. But I'm just saying, everything's looking really good, guys. It's looking really good. Now, we're going to cover SMH before we get into anything else. You had the cup and handle. We were calling that. You got the break and retest off that cup and handle. Guys, nothing less than bullish. Now, I'm going to point out what's been happening over here on Mr. SMH. Breakout after breakout. that's what's been happening. We're going to cover some individual tickers that I'm rather fond of in this video. All right. And we will be watching these bad boys like a hawk, and we will specifically be trading these guys. And I'm rather excited. All right. There's one big guy. We're going to talk about it right now. There's one big guy. We're going to move it over. All right. To the pink list, baby. The pink list is going to be what we want to be paying attention to. All right. We're going to start off with this, and then I'm going to talk about that big guy that I am going to be focusing on, because I think, that is extremely clean price action. I think a lot of people get on the wrong side, but guys, we've been on the right side. We're just going to talk about it before we even talk about this. NVIDIA. We will be covering NVIDIA consistently here on this channel. Anybody who has been following along knows we've been watching SMCI. All right. Have I been playing SMCI? No. No, I have not. All right. I remember playing it somewhere over here. I sold for a loss, and then you saw that, and I was like, oh, crap. All right. Guess what? We're going to be watching. I'm not talking SMCI. We're talking NVIDIA. All right. But anybody who saw SMCI, this is, kind of something that I was already talking to my Discord about. I was saying that I'm going to start watching for these strong names, these fundamentally strong companies. And this was before this day. And I'm like, crap, this is the proof that I was just talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. All right. We're going to be watching strong companies. We're going to be just watching, for entries along this uptrend. Because, guys, you can see some of these very, very clean setups. Just, you just continue buying in along the uptrend. And that's what brings me to over here on NVIDIA. A lot of people think NVIDIA is just going to die off. I don't think it's going to die off. I think you're going to continuously have cycles like you have over here. And guys, we were talking about these cycles as they were, happening. Over here, the last time that I can remember playing NVIDIA, which was when you had this big old bullish divergence going on, and people wanted to short the whole. All right, then you had a hammer candle stick popped up, and here on this channel, we called the exact bottom. All right, I'm just going to say right now, NVIDIA continuously offers the setups that I look for. And they don't fake you out. All right. We're talking like 4 out of 7 long setups that are in my system. I could just find here on this chart consistently in this range. And I understand you would have had to put up some money for these contracts. But let's just look at these cons. All right. They still go crazy. It doesn't matter that they are expensive. You can safely trade the strong name. And that's what I'm interested in. You come over here to NVIDIA. Let's just take a gander. All right. We're talking 13 days out. And I understand they're still expensive. All right. Let's just look at over here. Well, let's say we want to freaking play this thing. I understand you just had the fresh breakout, but it kept going. You guys see what I see. All right. You guys see exactly what I see. You had the fresh all-time high, like breakout after breakout. Let's just, before we go into the premiums on this thing, let's just talk about some of these setups that continuously pop up here. You got the inverse head and shoulders going on continuously. Literally just continuously. And it's the breakouts. All right. We're talking breakouts. We're talking support plays. We're talking golden pocket plays. We got trendline break. You have another inverse head and shoulders right here. Like, again, just bullish structure that we would be paying attention to anyway. All right. Even if we don't play, like, these are the things we watch for on this channel anyway. All right. Not just bullish structure. We watch for any structure, but this is what I like. All right. And guys, I like what I like. I could have been playing NVIDIA for this whole past year. All right. This isn't, well, not a year, but, past 6 months or so, we continuously see these setups pop up. You don't have to be trying to short the beast. Just when you see the long opportunities on the strong company, you take your shot. You continuously get these. You get bearish setups, you get bullish setups, but guys, we're only focusing on the bullish setups because this is the fundamentally this is the beast. All right, it's a beast, and people continuously want to short the thing, and I see absolutely no reason to. You have the cleanest setups known to man. You came down to support. You held support. You had a camera candlestick to even risk if you wanted to down here, even if you didn't buy in over here. You also had the bullish divergence suggesting that we're going to get an upward resolution of this little range we got going on here. Guess where you broke out and you continued higher all the way up into 500. That was an $80 move you could have caught. Let's just go over some of these trend line breaks. All right, right here. And we're talking, you buy 3 weeks out. All right, 415. Within, a few weeks, you went to 480. We're talking over here, 445. Within days, you are 503. That's a $50 move. All right, I don't care if the premiums are expensive. I'm willing to give this guy a shot. Over here, 425. Guess what? Come up to 476 within, again, a few weeks. These are the things I'm talking about. I don't care if the premiums, you have to put up $1,000 for these. You buy the safe contract, you get to play NVIDIA. These setups are ridiculously clean. I don't know how else to say it. All right, right here, 420 is where you close that day. Guess what? Within, 2 weeks here, going from here to here, literally 2 weeks. You see that 14 days? So if you bought 3 weeks on your cons, you would have caught an $80 move. Guess what? All right, do we have another? We do have another. Obviously, guys, you gotta be taking your profits here. But guess what? You still had this clean downtrend break. You even had the back test. You had several days to play this bad boy. That's a $40 move. And then you just would have been able to sell to resistance. And if you broke resistance, you get a clean break like this, you can run it back. All right. But again, you just continuously have the sexiest setups known to man here on NVIDIA. It's ridiculous at this point how clean these things are really looking. Looking phenomenal is what I'm getting at. Absolutely phenomenal. All right. I understand people want to short the beast, but this beast is probably going to keep going. You're going to get a pullback, and we're going to be watching that pullback. If you get a chance to buy this breakout, I'll just give you a case study on this. All right. An analog, I guess we could call it. Guess what? Maybe it wasn't the cleanest looking thing. You bought date. You got really freaking paid. Did we call this out over here on the channel? Damn right we called this out here on the channel. And then we called the bottom over here on Mr. Avgo. All right, Mr. Avgo, guys, just had a fresh breakout. That's why we're talking about it right now. Every time you have these breakouts on these big names. And chips, guys, they're going crazy. We have increasing volume on the moves. I don't think this is just going to be the end of it. I really don't. I really don't. Okay? Every time you get these breakouts, these all-time high breakouts over here on Avgo, you kind of go a little crazy. I think you have some potential here to go a little crazy. Keep it on the radar. I'm not saying I'm playing this one. I'm not saying I'm just going to buy into these things as premiums are juiced and, we just saw the moves. We're not going to be doing that. But we are damn right going to be keeping these on our watch list, and we don't care if the premiums are very expensive. And let me just show you what I'm talking about before we keep talking about expensive premiums. All right? 3 weeks out over on Mr. NVIDIA. Guess what? You're paying a lot of money for these. All right? That's a $2,000 in the money contract. All right, but $20 out the money. What is that looking like? $595 all the way out to $615, $1,300. What can we get for $1,000? All right, $30 out of the money. We have to go $30 flipping dollars out the money. All right, but what happens? All right, what happens if we catch even the $40 move we were just speaking of? Well, this is $1,000. All right, on NVIDIA, the smallest move that I just pointed out off those breakouts were the $40 move. We're talking $30 out the money is $1,000. Well, what happens if 2 weeks goes by and you only have 1 week left, but now you're $10 in the money? All right, now we're looking at $1,700. And these are the safe gains I'm talking about. Now, here's the thing. That was the lowest, gain you really got on that. What happens when you get really in the money? All right, now we're talking NVIDIA just multiplied the crap out of your money. And most of these moves are big old moves. What is going on? What did I just say? You guys saw that? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's this. Look at that. Guys, Weeble caught it. Look at that. The rectangle formation. Wow. I don't watch that, but whatever. All right. And it's the same thing over here on Avgo. And this is why I was saying this is going to be a bit of a longer video. We're at 23 minutes. We have a lot of freaking tickers we're going to cover. After we stop talking about this, though, we are going to be talking about, just some setups to be paying attention to. All right. I just want to, address this. This is what I'm talking about. What the heck is this premium? $3,000 you got to put up? Are you kidding me? $3,500 for an in-the-money contract? Well, guess what, guys? We were watching these all the way back over at, at the bottom there. When Avgo, let's just look at this $1,200 contract. You just caught a $100 move from that 4-hour RSI being oversold. Now what are we looking at? All right. When was that? Let's come over. Let's come back over here to Avgo. I'm right here. Guess what? This was like we were calling the bottom. Why were we calling the bottom? Because for a whole year, you followed this exact trend. This is where You have your big bounces, and maybe you put in a bullish divergence. You buy 3 weeks out. Any of these times, you would have been very paid. All right, very paid for a whole year. You go all the way back last February, so just about a year here. You have not breached this level here on the RSI. This is where you bottom. All right, I didn't say you had a setup. I was watching for it to come all the way back down here. You did not get the break and retest there. All right, but anybody who was listening and following along with that, you just caught an absolute massive move. You just caught $170 freaking move from when we were saying Avco is next up. I remember posting my stuff over on the Twitter. I know you guys remember it. All right, and these are the things we're talking about. I understand they're expensive premiums, but the guys, you know, these are the things that have extremely clean price action. I am interested. All right, so I didn't even look at the date there. All right, so what was the date? All right, the date the RSI hit the level that I was watching was on the 4th. Okay, so let's come over here. When was the 4th? The 4th was right here. It was a high of $300. It went to $4,000 the other day. And you still have a ton of time on your cons. This was a 60-day out contract. This is what I'm talking about. All right, we're not talking you have to, play the short-dated contracts. We're talking you put up the money to play these safe contracts when we see the opportunity along these strong stocks. All right, I'm not going to talk your ear off about any more nerd stuff here. We're going to just dive into some setups. Okay, Disney, it's looking absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what else to say other than that. All right, you had the fresh bull flag breakout going on. This was your hint that it was happening. You came back. All right, if you want something to risk, I'm risking the low of that candlestick, 90.47. Guess what? All right, I do think we're going to be coming up here this 100.04 gap fill. All right, number one, obviously NVIDIA's that we're watching it. PLTR, guess what? You're still just basing. You're still just back testing. I think short dated calls are next up over here on Mr. PLTR. I think we're about to start making a move. Here's going to be your confirmation. If we can break over here, we're playing short dated calls, baby. It's on the focus list. All right. We're talking high. Well, we're talking low. We're talking high or low. You have this. If you break that, you're going to have a higher high here compared to this high. And we're now going to be in a daily uptrend. Okay. Guess what? Last time you got into your daily uptrend after your downtrend, it changed. Yes, you already went from 14 up to 19 freaking dollars, 15 to $19. You still could have had a lot of meat on the bone to play. All right, we're talking PLTR, baby. It's on the radar. It's been on the radar, but as a swing name, guess what? We're talking short-dated calls are on deck over here on Mr. PLTR. SMCI, I'm just going to talk about this one just to show how clean. If anybody was watching the interview we did the other day, all right, that is my new friend talking for a little while, and I just want to say I appreciate having freaking friends in the space because I don't talk to anybody about stocks. I'm always in my head about this stuff. I don't have the chance to learn from people who, have, the skills that I am working on acquiring. So I am extremely appreciative of having friends in the space. And I've met 4 friends over the past 2 weeks, and I'm pretty excited to, dive into the space. I'm going to be honest. All right, guys, you have the biggest volume you've ever had on this ticker today. All right, except for back over here. Not today. I meant on Friday. Now, this is one where I almost bought the 370 call at 40 cents. That turned out to be the low. I decided to not to take the lotto. And guess what? Because, typically, guys, you're just throwing your money away. And, I'm trying to do things the right way. But, these are the things that piss me off because you try and do things the right way. And then, you could have actually gambled your ass off and you could have made the most money you've made in, months and months and months and months and months and months and months all in one day. It would have been amazing. Guess what? I think this keeps going. But this is exactly what I'm talking about, finding the strong names. We've been watching this thing for a while. We knew it was pushing up to all-time highs. These are the dated contracts that would have just absolutely went insane. I think this thing is going to be pushing up. All right. I'm not saying we go straight to $500, but I'm saying this thing does not want to pull back right now. This is pulling a NVIDIA style move. We saw what happened on NVIDIA's all-time high breakout. All right. All of these times on NVIDIA's all-time high breakouts, you just, you go berserker. You go absolute berserker. Right over here, that's $150 up. Well, next one was $90 up. SMCI is probably not pulling back again. I know the premiums are very expensive, and that's why, Why, lottos on these companies, I like looking at them and then I don't do it because, it's, 99% of the time you are throwing away your money. It's that you got to buy so far out the money to play these things, with not a lot of money, that it's not worth. But guess what? Because they will expire worthless. That's why it's a Lotto Friday. Why everything's so expensive. You got 1 day left in your contract. Most, 99.9% of contracts are going to be expiring worthless that day. Guess what? You literally got the breakout, guys, and you went insane. You went straight up to like a long-term target. These are my 2 long-term targets. You went straight up to them. Guess what? You have this massive volume spike. All right. You don't have any divergences here on this RSI. I think you're going to keep going. All right. I think this thing is just getting warmed up, and that sucks because, we were calling it from, literally all the way down here. We were calling for this thing to start spiking up, and you ended up, you were doing some things. Okay. But I want to make this very clear. This is exactly what I was just taking so much time talking about on the video. Guys, these are extremely clean setups. I don't know what else to say other than that. We're going to come over here. We're going to take off the that thing right there. All right. And what are we going to be looking at? We're looking at the golden pocket. As every single time, we knew we were bullish on the sticker too, right? Anybody who's been following along, you knew SMCI was like top watch for a little while over here. Guess what? All right. This thing on all 3 pullbacks pulled back to the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement and then rocket shipped. It marked the bottom every single time. You could have done what we just talked about in NVIDIA every time on SMCI and probably just got rich. All right. If you did it with terrible risk management, we're talking you all in every single time. But that's what I'm talking about. You could have went out like, 2 months if you really wanted to. You still would have gotten paid like 5x on each one of these. All right. Well, maybe not 5x on these guys. Here, this would have been insane. Didn't matter what contracts you had. They went crazy. All right. So SMCI, I don't think it's going to be, cools off. We watch it. But yeah, I think this thing is going to continue going. You got Mar over here. Guys, we're talking miners, okay? Miners are all pulling back to their golden pockets. I think this is, if it's going to be a retracement, this is where you have the best risk to reward going on. All right. We're talking Mara. We're talking Riot has its daily RSI oversold. I'm not saying you are, looking super pretty over here on Riot. I'm not saying that at all. Well, I'm definitely not going to be playing it. But guess what? I want to play Coinbase. But again, with these juiced premiums, that's also, a disadvantage over there. You have to put up more money to play, the safe moves. And that sucks. All right. That really does suck. I wish some of these things were, you didn't have to put up so much money. But guess what? All right. It's for a reason. You come over here to coin. This is the thing that's going to be benefiting the most off of that, ETF getting approved. Most of the exchanges are going to be going through Coinbase. This thing is going to have the most benefit. It's going to get the most money poured into it. Guess what? We're talking literally down here. 137 was the high of this candlestick right here. I know we took off Weevil, but let's just give some ideas out here. All right. I'm not telling you just go out and gamble there. I'm just going to show you some things that I was looking at. All right. You come over here to coin. You do have the hammer candlestick popping up right before the 0.618. Right before golden pocket. This is what I'm saying about juice premiums. In the money, it's $400. All right. But, you got up to 137 the other day. I think I was. Excuse-moi. All right. Excuse-moi. It was at 137. So let's look at 137 strike going for $100. All right. Let's say, it's if this thing starts popping back up, you have a chance of that hitting just right off the bat on Monday or Tuesday. And then by the time that happens, you're probably seeing $100 go to like $300. All right. Guess what? If it does get that move, you're not just going to stop here. You're going to come all the way back up here. And at that point, you're going to be very far in the money on this 137 cons. And then, we're talking some real money there. That's kind of the idea over here. But I'm just going to say right now, I wouldn't be doing that. And if I do play coin, it's not a chance I'm going to be doing that. We're playing for the dated cons. All right. We probably would, touch these February 16s. Guess what? Monthly OPEX. They're going to be the most liquid. They're also going to move the best. And that is what you want in the options game. You don't want a contract that, is not moving with the price. It makes no sense. All right. But this is what I was saying about these juice premiums. All right. You would have to go way far out. But, if this thing does start popping back, that's where you get really freaking paid. All right. Even if you just see the move up to 143, let's say you were in a Let's say you're in a 140 call. I know it's cost you 500 bucks, but there's your 100% gain. All right, there you go. And then once you actually do see the move to 140, you're probably coming up here. I'm just saying, like, you're probably going to get a full-on reversal if you could start doing some things over here with price. And then we're looking at 160 after this level over here at 143. What are we talking then? Then you have a $20 in the money contract, and then your contract is minimum worth $2,000 intrinsic value. Let's say you still have some time on that con. Let's say that happens in like 2 weeks here. Guess what? $20 in the money, 125. So we're talking the 105 strike goes for, yeah, 2,100 bucks right there. That was the last price. So there's your gains. All right. So those are your safe gains that I think are loading right now. And then, you know, if you're really riding this thing out, I'm not saying it's going back up here. All right. But just like we're looking for the retracement over on that end, we're going to be looking for the retracement on this end. And that happens to align with this 160 level right here. So that's what I'm talking about. There's your perfect TP. All right. You have pretty clear risk going on here. Okay, you're getting a break and retest. You got the daily RSI being oversold. This will mark the bottom for a very long time now. All right, maybe we do put in that bullish divergence, but I think price is probably just going to dance around here if you do that. And then, you know, then the spring is getting loaded. Baba does have the bullish divergence. You have a bullish engulfing candlestick. That is a change. We haven't had that in quite some time. You had that over here, but you did not have a bullish divergence going on in the RSI. You didn't have this big old volume spike going on. And yeah, you're also at the bottom of this weekly falling wedge, and you were holding right on to the bottom of it. Baba, I understand China has been a piece of poop lately. I think it's still going to be queuing up. PFE, long-term break and retest going on this upper trend line of the falling wedge. I think you got room up here to 33 bucks. All right, this is for you long-term people. I think this thing is probably going to start, you know, trekking upwards. All you need to do here to change the structure, you haven't had this in so long. It's been literally since December 2022. We saw all of 2023 go by, and now we're at the start of 2024. A year-long downtrend is about to change. If you can just break above this level right here, all right, if you can break above the high of 30.75, that is when we will have a change in structure. And at that point, we will be looking for up here at 33 to come pretty quick. Because as you could see, every single impulse wave down you had here, it's a $5 move down. All right. Well, what happens when you get the impulse wave up? We're going to get that $5 move up. And if it starts from right here, there you go. All right. So PFE, put it on the radar if you'd like. Long dated stuff. That is what I like here. It's a very slow mover, so I would not play short dated contracts on it. But as you can see, you're literally just riding this bad boy right here, getting the hammer candlestick, increasing volume off of the trend line break. And yeah, looking good. Okay, next one we're going to be talking about is AI. As I think a bunch of these just really, you know, just reset here. We lost the trend line. We're bullish on here. Guess what? Then you lost the trend line. So what happened there? Well, now we're talking, guys. We're down here. We put in a hammer candlestick. Your daily RSI is oversold for a very long time now. Again, a whole ass year here. This is where you mark your bottoms. Put it on the watch list, okay? And what you want to really be paying attention to here is you're right at support with the daily RSI being oversold. You get some volume stepping in here. You can reclaim this level. Guess what? You're probably going to retest this trend line. That's a $3 move upward. There you go. And then what's also going to come if you do get that, you're going to have a downtrend break just like that. And then you're probably seeing a move all the way up here to 30 bucks. All right, so put it on the radar. FedEx. All right, FedEx is one that I have been watching. All right, I have not touched it, but we're paying attention to it right here. Look at this bad boy. All right, you do have some sort of falling wedge falling up right here. And again, same thing. You got to go all the way back here over a year ago to finally see when this thing did not respect the RSI being right down here. You have a hammer candlestick. You got the increasing volume. All right. You see 240 break. You know, there's no reason, but I think, guess what? If this thing could break out, I think you're probably going to start moving somewhere within this gap. And that is where the opportunity lies. Tesla. Tesla is right here at the bottom of the golden pocket. It's still holding on the weekly time frame. It just wicked down there. I'm just saying right here, it's Tesla. It's do or die, baby. It's do or die. You got this downtrending or downsloping parallel channel going on here. Guess what? If you could break out of it, probably get a decent amount of buyer step in. You got the daily RSI literally being under 30. This is what has marked the bottom for. Again, you got to go all the way back a whole ass year. See when that was not respected. That's when Tesla was doing some dirty things over there, some fundamentally bad things. I don't think this thing is going to break down here. I think you're probably going to start shooting up. Now, I will say Tesla's a little trickster. Tesla has not, experienced the rally that the market just had. So, it could start separating from the actual market action, from what we see over on the indices. Next one we're talking is Oxy. Oxy is another one that's right here. It's a support play. Guess what? You break under that support, you got the bullish divergence going on, baby. But as of right now, you're literally just getting buyers stepping up exactly where they need to at long-term support. Put it on the radar, all right? Use this candlestick right here as your risk. The low of this candlestick is going to be 55.42. The high of this candlestick is 55.82. That's $1. All right? Guess what? You're risking it for a move back up. All right, you could take this as a short-term trade. I'm looking at this as like, hey, Warren Buffett owns most of this company right now. I'm just saying, I think it's most. I think I either saw 30 or 60%. I forgot what it was. Regardless, inverse head and shoulders going on as long as you don't take out that low. So you do have that. We can literally just move that down here because you still haven't taken out the low of the head. All right, so you do have that going on. You will have that being right here. Guess what? All right, just getting up there. This is the move that I'm talking about. We stay in this range. You just play the range. I think you're at the bottom of the range. SMH. I just want to highlight this thing. I don't think it's slowing down here. I think this thing it's looking absolutely insane. I think it's very clear we're in a bull market. Maybe you do end up consolidating here, but dips probably will be bought. You just had this breakout. You're probably going a lot higher in the chip sector. Avgo. We already talked about it, but we're going to talk about it right now. Avgo is just one of those companies that I'm interested in buying those dips. It just had a fresh breakout. You probably do have, a lot more incoming here, over the coming weeks. You probably just see another $100 move over here in Avgo. Look at this volume. All right, you come over here to AMD. Broke above the channel. New all-time high. Who this, baby? Who this? Guess what? Again, something with insane volume going on. You got earnings over here. All right, you probably keep running to earnings if I had to take a guess. All right, if we see all these things get slammed, guys, we are going to be watching for these downtrend breaks. We don't play them in the downtrend. Okay, over here, all you had to do is do something like this. Boom, 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 boom. All right, just look at these. You had a little fake out, but when you don't have the fake outs, they look absolutely beautiful. All right, they look beautiful and they provide you with these glorious opportunities. All right, over here, you did have a little fake out. I will not deny. But this is why we're going to be paying attention to these things. This thing was looking glorious. All right, it was looking absolutely beautiful. And I understand there's that going on. But guess what? You finally did have the clean break here. Have this little falling wedge, whatever you want to call this thing, a channel. All right, on the weekly time frame, you come over here. This thing looks clean. All right, it looks clean, baby, right here. This is when you knew. This was your time for chips, and you got paid. All right, we had the same exact thing go on over here. You knew we were watching chips over here if you were following along with the channel. But guess what? All right, this. What the heck is this? You could have longed the top of that candle and still had a 55% gain on shares. What happens if you buy, far out options? There you go. MU, I think this guy is next up. MU is not at all-time highs. MU does have increasing volume here. You're probably going to see a move to the top of the channel. So watch it for next week. But you get the breakout here. You're probably going decently higher. Let's just look at some of these previous breakouts. All right. Well, up here, you had another $6 to go. Broke out here. You did end up 350 and then you back tested, but in the end, you did run about 10%, $8 there. What happens if you break here? All right, right about there. Probably going to at least come to the top of this channel. That is something we're watching. Plug, we pointed this out actually in Thursday's video. Just want to point out, heavy volume going on here. Get the inverted hammer. All right, and now we have a big green candlestick going on there. Not going to say it's increasing volume. It's not something I like, but guess what? All right, if you're interested in plug, I think you're probably going to start reversing here. You have a shot. All right, revisiting some of these lows. And that is where the play is. All right. A, B, and B. I'm not going to be playing this thing, but I'll, this is a video. I'm putting, all these things that just reset. We're watching them now. We're putting them on the radar. you can really see what I'm looking at here. This is pretty sexy. All right, you held. If it was going to be a retracement, it was going to hold right here. You held. You got the double bottom setup going on. You break above this high over here of high of 141.20 because you could start moving and grooving back up to this high. You're interested. PayPal. Here you go. This is going to be probably the sexiest longer term setup that I could find right now. I think this thing is looking glorious. All right. I don't know what else to say other than that. You had the inverse head and shoulders breakout on the weekly time frame. You also just broke this long-term downtrend. You probably have a crap ton of people buy into this. All right. I really like it. I like the stock, baby. I like it. This was a retail favorite. Guess what? It's been dying. Retail's been waiting for it to, have this breakout. It's just came in with heavy volume. You could probably start moving back up to this 74 to 74 to 77 zone up there. That is really what I'm watching for over here on PayPal. Guys, with that being said, those are all the tickers I wanted to go over today to show you guys, like, hey, everything just reset. If you are remaining patient and you want to wait for these long setups to present themselves again, they are here and they're waiting for you. So there we go. We just went over pretty much, those are all the hottest setups that I was really finding, and, potential there. And, I'm just going to say Diz and PayPal right now, they really do look absolutely phenomenal. PLTR looks like it is, just about to start the move up. Everything's looking good, guys. All right. Maybe we do get that big old sell in the market, but, if indices are looking like this, I don't think we're going to be, I don't think we're going to be pulling back next week. So there's a chance some of these, end up seeing some decent ass price action. All right. And as far as, Bitcoin goes, guys. All right. Bitcoin's still looking ugly. We're not watching Bitcoin. We're watching those chip stocks, not the chip stocks. We are watching the chip stocks. We're watching the miner stocks. All right. Bitcoin's going to be down here at support. I'm just saying this thing does look like it is going to be coming down lower. So, I don't even know if I want to play coin because that looks great. But even, I told you guys, premiums are juiced. I don't really trust the space too much. All right. You see what happened here. You literally wicked up to resistance and then died off of the ETF news. Proceed with caution over here on Mr. Bitcoin. You actually also have a head and shoulders formation going on right there. And that is just showing a change in structure here on the daily time frame, guys. You had this low, you got a high, all right, higher low, higher high. Now you come down here and you have a lower low, lower high, lower low. Change in structure. If you see the support break, you're probably coming all the way down here to 37.7K. All right, guys, with that being said, I will catch you all in the next one. I'm looking forward to things. I think we're getting that next momentum wave here. All right. And, with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one. Everybody have a lovely rest of your day and peace.